Sail to breathtaking destinations in Alaska or Europe with the Disney Cruise Line. Discover where onboard magic meets onshore adventures, where beloved characters
Hiya, pal!
meet alluring landscapes, where Broadway quality shows meet historic cities, where imaginative dining meets amazing wildlife, and where exciting experiences await the whole family. Book an adventure-filled summer Disney cruise to Alaska or Europe.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Right now, get up to 25% off select online storage solutions. Put heavy-duty HDX totes to good use, protecting what's important to you. The solid, impact-resistant design prevents cracking, and the clear base and sides make items easy to find even when the totes are stacked. Find select online shelving and tote storage up to 25% off at the Home Depot to organize every room in your home, from your garage to your attic. Visit HomeDepot.com. How doers get more done.
Amazon One Medical presents Painful Thoughts.
I could catch anything sitting in this doctor's waiting room. Ugh, a kid just wiped his runny nose on my jacket. And the guy next to me, sitting in a pool of perspiration, insists on sharing my armrest. Ugh.
Next time, make an appointment with an Amazon One Medical provider. There's no waiting and no sweaty guy. Amazon One Medical. Healthcare just got less painful.
Episode 481, Tips for a Great No-Spend Month.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome to Frugal Friends podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Jill.
And today, if you're listening to this on the day it releases, is January 31st.
Woo woo.
And for many of you, you may be starting or restarting a no-spend challenge.
We're actually doing this in the Friendletter. So if you subscribe to that, and if you're not, you should, frugalfriendspodcast.com. We are walking through the entire month of February, a no-spend challenge, and kind of helping you along the way, giving some pointers, giving some resources so that you can have a really great no-spend month. And February is the shortest month of the year, so we know dummies.
We are not dummies. Everybody out here trying to do no-spend January, and we, the intelligent people in the Frugal Friends community, this year we do a no-spend February. We have done no-spend January. We love no-spend January, but we're going to be true to our hearts.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a 28-day no-spend challenge.
We know that if you're listening to this on the day, you've only got today to prepare for tomorrow, but also know you can do a 30-day no-spend challenge. It doesn't have to follow along with the month exactly. You get to choose. But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But just so you know, there's more resources to come. If you like what we're talking about here, you can join us in the challenge.
But first, this episode is brought to you by 29, the number 29.
Ooh, why?
Last year, February had 29 days.
It did.
And we did a no-spend January last year. Because why would we cheat ourselves of a day if we could just get like around even 30? But this year, we're back to 28. And actually, I hope last year was a leap year because I might be getting all my years
No,
mixed
I think
up.
you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whew. 29. And yeah.
Bringing it back.
I'm bringing it back. You know what's also not 29 this year? Our book.
Ooh.
It's 25. Yes.
Because of 2025?
No, it's $25, Jill.
Oh, listen.
Our book is $25.
I'm just trying to track
which,
with you.
if you compare prices to all the other personal finance books out there, is $1 or so cheaper. I think around $2 cheaper than most other personal finance books out there. We did that intentionally because we know you're frugal. And our book, Buy What You Love Without Going Broke, is available now. So If you're looking for a personal finance book that you're going to want to own, you're going to want to highlight it, you're going to want to take notes, and your budget is $25, head to buywhatoulovebook.com. Get yours right now. Support your local bookstore, bookshop.org.
And quick, do it before the no spend challenge starts tomorrow.
Quick.
You got this. Okay, so we are going to talk about how to set yourself up for a great no spend month. And we're primarily going to be looking through this article that we found from Simple Purposeful Living. It's titled Mom's Guide for How to Do a No Spend Month Challenge. You don't have to be a mom in order for this information to stick with you and be helpful. But if you are a mom,
it'll be extra
better.
helpful and a little bit catered.
Yeah. So we want to start talking about why to even do one. What's the point in the first place? Then we'll go through some how-tos and some what-ifs, because we know you all have questions and you're thinking about all the reasons that this isn't going to work for you, and we're going to address those.
Yeah. So I love no spend challenges. I wrote a book on them called the No Spend Challenge Guide. They have a whole dedicated section in our book, Buy What You Love Without Going Broke. But let me just reiterate why it's so important to do one and how helpful it is. And I'm so glad that Simple Purposeful Living agrees. She says the goal of a no spend month is to reset our spending habits. And she's specifically talking about no spend January. She said it's especially helpful after the holiday season. And I mean, February is the same. Like, I think it teaches you even more because you are learning how I don't want this to sound negative, but how incapable we are of just kind of trying to white knuckle our way through changing our habits. We say, I have been doing this for the last 1 to 2 months, this buy now. And then I think that I'm just going to do a total 180 in January and be even better than I was in September and October and the months leading up to this trigger happy November and December. And we are quickly reminded of how that's not the way our brains work. And it can be a bummer, but we actually had a book signing last night, and one of the questions in our Q&A is like, what do you do when you make a mistake? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say that right here. When we make mistakes and we are doing these no spend challenges and we fail, you want to celebrate it. And because it is an opportunity to learn, you're giving yourself with a no spend challenge self-imposed barriers, self-imposed friction between you and the buy now button, you and the cash register. And this friction will inadvertently lead to mistakes, quote unquote. And you get to learn from those mistakes. You get to observe and implement new ways of doing things and move on and be better.
Mm-hmm. Of course, there's the benefit of being able to possibly save more, set more money aside for particular goals. But I really love the primary why being self-understanding and creating better habits for the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's a really excellent reason, but you can also define your own reasons for this. And we'll talk a little bit more about the whys and how you can kind of define that. But let's first talk about how to set up some of these ground rules, because it's going to be really important to define some of these limitations and the boundary lines that you are going to be willing to operate within ahead of time. And so the first one is certainly just deciding the timeline. How long do you plan on doing this no spend challenge? We are talking about doing it for a month or 30 days. So if you want to do it for the entire month of February, or you want to say 30 days, of course, there are no spend challenges out there that talk about kind of no spend days throughout the month, doing a certain amount of no spend days throughout the year. There's doing a no spend 2 weeks and no spend 1 week. All of these are possible, but we are primarily focusing on the 30 days. We do recommend this. We think that this is a great place to to begin, and even a great place for kind of ongoing, something that you could do every year. And it's because of the ways in which our brain works and how habits are formed and reformed. So we've recognized that it takes, and this comes from research from Anne Lemke's book. I don't know why I always want to call her Diane. Anne Lemke's book, Dopamine Nation, where she describes kind of how long it takes for us to come down off of some of the dopamine hits that we are accustomed to experiencing on a regular basis with any type of addiction. That it takes about 28 to 30 days for us to be able to retrain some of those neural pathways in our brains to not rely so heavily upon these kind of quick dopamine hits. It doesn't mean that we don't need or want dopamine anymore, but where that dopamine is coming from and being able to reintroduce other dopamine hits that might be more beneficial for us, for our wallets, for our lifestyles. So we can really experience an opportunity to shift our spending behaviors and habits if we give ourselves this full 30 days. So that would be a really good parameter, a really good time frame to set.
Mm-hmm. But if you're doing it in February, 28 will get you as much benefit as 30. I assure you. Dr. Lemke's dopamine fast were all 28 days. So next is decide what counts. You have to define what is discretionary or quote unquote non-essential. And so the reason that we do that is because I always get emails about no spend challenges being like, I tried to start one, but then I needed gas in my car and it was over. And I was like, are you impulse buying gas? Mm-hmm. Is that a struggle for you in your spending habits? No? Well, then it doesn't count in the challenge. You want to decide the most challenging things that you see an issue with your spending. Those are the things that you're giving up. The mindless, the habitual, the things that you believe are hindering yourself from reaching your financial goals faster. Because it's going to help you change them. And then maybe occasionally it's going to alert you to the things that you thought were problems were not actually problems. It was other things that you weren't even thinking about. So that's why we have to decide what counts. And an easy way to do this is just saying like anything discretionary, just across the board, anything discretionary. Things that are not discretionary are bills, the gas to put in our car to get us to work, like all of those things that you need, that you are not impulse buying, that you don't want to buy, that you could easily give up if you wanted. Those are the things you still need to be buying. It's the things that, the first thing that pops in your head is like, oh, I don't want to give up Taco Tuesday. Well, that's probably something you should give up for a month and figure out, how do I get the same dopamine hit as Taco Tuesday, but for less expensive or for free?
Mm. The next thing that we want to do ahead of time before we are engaging in this challenge is identifying your why, what you hope to gain from this experience. And I would say write it down so that we do have something to look back on, because reflection is going to be a really key part of doing this no spend challenge. So whether that is breaking a habit, or you really do want to be able to set some money aside for a bigger investment, if it's aligning your behavior with your values, writing these things down to really identify this is the reason and the purpose behind this, not just because Jen and Jill said that it would be a good idea. One thing I will add that's not in this article, but it is in our book, that we think is really important to do before doing a no spend challenge is that 90-day transaction inventory. We talk about doing this before we set a budget. It's also going to be really important to do this before we engage in this challenge, because it can help us to define what will our goals be for this no spend challenge. So as we go through this 90-day transaction inventory, which is just looking at all of our spending for the last 90 days by compiling our credit card statements, our bank statements, and being able to look through line by line, where are we spending money? What are some of the cues, the triggers that are coming before some of these transactions? This can highlight to us, what are our spending behaviors right now? What are some of our habits? and identifying, okay, does it happen at a certain time of day? Is it a certain location? Is there a certain emotion that might be triggering some of this spending? That can help you to define what is it that I'm hoping to shift in this. And it can also help you to be able to create this list of what could be some alternatives for me rather than just depriving myself. What else could I be doing? So if you've got the time to do the 90-day transaction beforehand, that would be really great.
You want to buy a home or car? Maybe you want to lease a new apartment, but your credit isn't where it needs to be. You need Kickoff. If your credit is under 600, you could jump like 28 points in your first month. Kickoff is the best way to build credit fast. No credit checks, no hidden fees, and no interest. It's simple. Kickoff optimizes key credit factors. Credit bureaus see good behavior, and your credit grows fast. Start building credit now for only $1 for your first month at getkickoff.com/iHeartPodcast. That's Kickoff without the C. Get KIKOFF.com/iHeartPodcast. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/iHeartPodcast to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Point stat based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0. Changes for Kickoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside Kickoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary.
She's seen Encanto more times than she can count. And she can count to 10. She mentioned Mirabel in every conversation. But the moment she actually met Mirabel, she was speechless. That's pura magia. Find yours at Walt Disney World Resort.
5 years, 10 months, and 2 days. That's how long it took to grow the 38 inches to ride on Cali River Rapids. But the moment the wait finally ended, that was pura magia. Discover it at Walt Disney World Resort.
Trust isn't just earned, it's demanded. Whether you're a startup founder navigating your first audit or a seasoned security professional scaling your GRC program, proving your commitment to security has never been more critical or more complex. That's where Vanta comes in. Businesses use Vanta to establish trust by automating compliance needs over 35 frameworks, like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. Centralize security workflows, complete questionnaires up to 5 times faster, and proactively manage vendor risk. Vanta can help you start or scale your security program by connecting you with auditors and experts to conduct your audit and set up your security program quickly. Plus, with automation and AI throughout the platform, Vanta gives you time back so you can focus on building your company. Join over 9,000 global companies like Atlassian, Quora, and Factory who use Vanta to manage risk and prove security in real time. For a limited time, our audience gets $1,000 off Vanta at vanta.com/special. That's VANTA.com/special for $1,000 off.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's her secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. It's formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all 5 of her best-selling products, including the amazing youth-activating melon serum. This next-generation serum has the power of melon leaf stem cell technology. It's melon leaf stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
So let's get into some of the what-ifs. These are the really tactical tips for doing the no spend challenge. And the first one we'll bring up is the grocery store. We have to eat every single day. We are not going to be able to get food for free every single day. But it is something that causes a lot of impulse spending. So we've kind of got that double-edged sword. We need it. It is a necessity, but can also be the source of a lot of our overspending. So how do we navigate that? The first thing is meal planning. So we want a meal plan for the whole month. And this is exactly what the author says. The biggest help for her was meal planning. She said it was her best friend. Every Friday, she would create a shopping list and she would do her grocery shopping. She would stick to the list to avoid any impulse buys. Now, if you are having to shop in store, it is going to be a lot harder to navigate the impulse shopping than if you are shopping online. So I would say if you haven't, then it may be time to try out online grocery shopping. If you have a Walmart nearby, you can do that for free. They do not raise the prices of the groceries when you are shopping online, and then you can pick it up for free. If you have a 30-day free trial of Walmart Plus available, then this could be the month that you take advantage of that free trial so that you don't even have to go pick up your groceries at that point. You can have them delivered. So it creates that barrier so that it's much easier to stick to your list and you don't have to go into the store and be tempted.
I love the grocery shopping online for specifically a no-spend challenge. It does help me to not spend a ton of money. It keeps me to my list. She also talks about not avoiding certain sections of the store where you're just not going to need anything from them, or you might be tempted to purchase something that you don't need. So plenty of little tips and tricks and hacks around the grocery store. But I think some people will also pair this with a pantry challenge. So being sure that we are using up the things that are in our fridge, freezer, pantry before we're even making that grocery list, so that we're not even going to the grocery store maybe as often as we might typically be going month to month. So that can also just eliminate some of those temptations.
Yeah, and maybe you're not doing it the full month. Maybe you just say the first week you want to do a pantry challenge, and that's good too.
The other what if that can come up is, what if I don't want it to be boring? What if I want to have fun? What if I'm a person who enjoys life?
Don't.
And I want to live in the present.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Next.
Well, here's the thing. You can still have fun. And this is why this prep time is really important, to be able to define some of the alternatives, the things that you are going to do instead when you feel the desire to buy something, and maybe just because you want that dopamine hit, because you want the rush and the thrill of spending, or because it's the path of least resistance and we're comfortable and accustomed to buying our solutions. It's really important to have a list of alternatives. So maybe that means that you're actually writing down, I'm going to work on that hobby that I've been wanting to do. I'm going to use up the craft supplies that I already have. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to check out this park. I'm going to go to the library. I'm going to look at free events on Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to have friends over. You come up with the list. You decide the things that are going to sound really fun to you, but know that you can go to this list when you're experiencing the pinch of, oh man, why did I do this to myself? I've got this whole long list of things that I can try out. Let me see if any of this will fit. The other thing that we recommend is tell your friends, because I think one of the hardest things, at least for me, is when invites come up. Hey, you want to go out to this happy hour? You want to go see this movie? You want to go to this event? If my friends know ahead of time that I'm doing this, first of all, it might just help to eliminate the invite where I'm going to experience FOMO, but it can also allow your friends to think through, too, what could we do together? Or keep you accountable to, hey, I was going to say, let's do this, but I know you're doing a no spend challenge. So what do you want to do? Or maybe even challenge you to be the initiator of plans. If this isn't typically in your wheelhouse, it's an opportunity to try something new and invite people over. Hey, you want to come over Saturday morning for a coffee? You want to meet up for a packed lunch? You want to go for a walk with me? Do you want to check out this free event? So it doesn't mean that we have to crawl into a hole for the month. It just means that we have to be a little bit more creative, but we are going to learn so much more about ourselves. We're still going to experience awesome connection with people when we're able to exercise this creativity.
Yeah. If you are not paying attention, check back in and replay what Jill just said, because it is it is the secret to sticking with a no spend challenge, with a no spend month. And it comes down to identifying, I'm just going to assume you already re-listened to it. It comes down to identifying what we are really after when we are making purchases. We need to be aware of our higher needs, our need for connection, belonging, love, our connection for our needs for self-esteem and self-confidence, creativity, spontaneity. Those are the things we are truly after. And those, when you make your list, you need to make sure all of those things are on the list, because that is what we are buying when we are buying clothes, makeup, skincare, when we're just impulse buying, when we're going out to eat. We are buying our higher needs. And so when you can make a list of fun things to do that are specifically based off of your higher needs, then you will find you are naturally impulse buying much less. Next is, I got on my soapbox and now, okay, what if I want to buy something? What if I just see something that I want to impulse buy? Is that mine or yours?
No, yeah, take it.
Okay. So this happens. I don't think impulse buying is the enemy, is the thing. And I know this makes us an outlier in the frugal community, that we don't think impulse spending is bad. Mm-hmm. We think impulse spending comes from that need we have for spontaneity. And sometimes it can be a very cool thing that you really could be missing out on if you pass it up. But that's the exception, not the rule. So we don't want to villainize all of it, but again, it's the exception, not the rule. So if you see something that you really want to buy, save it on a list, write it down, take a picture of it, and wait. Because you need to give yourself that time so your brain can differentiate, is this something I really want and really solves a problem that I actually have? Or is it something that has created a pattern interrupt in my daily routine that has made me not think straight and created a problem that I didn't have before that I need to solve with this product or service, or made me think it's going to make me feel better about myself or get more community or whatever? What is it? You just need to create, and a no spend challenge gives you that space. It gives you an excuse to have that space. And so when those things do come up, save the thing and then forget about it for a little bit. Forget about it for however many days you have left in your challenge. I guarantee you, if it's on sale, it'll go back on sale again. And if it's not, then you can wait for a sale. That's great. That's even better. But it will still be available in 28 days.
Sure will. And you may not want it anymore. I think a lot of times that's one of the reflection pieces when you go back and look at, well, what is the list that I created, and be able to sometimes laugh at, oh, wow, like I wanted that. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad I didn't buy that. Or I do still want that. That's going to solve a problem for me. And okay, great. You've allowed yourself plenty of space to sit and think on it and really know that you're going to feel good about that spending decision. And I think, allowing yourself to ask some of those questions, if one of the goals is learning more about who we are, how we spend, when you have that urge to buy something, it's an excellent opportunity for some of this understanding of, what am I experiencing right now in my body? What is my brain telling me to do? What am I getting after? What's the loss I feel like I'm going to experience if I don't get this thing? And what does that tell me about my relationship with money, my desire to buy things? And what can I do instead? Again, not just depriving myself, but replacing some of these things. Another what if that can come up is, what if I messed up? I didn't write it down, Jen and Jill, and I just bought the thing.
Quit and start over next month. Quit and try again. Ow.
No, that's not right. Jen's playing devil's advocate here, and it's kind of fun.
I'm just playing devil.
Yeah. Don't quit. That is the point. You will not do this perfectly. Spoiler, you will never create a perfect spending plan. You will never create a perfect meal plan. You will never create a perfect no spend challenge month. All of these are learning opportunities. It is not failure. It is, you did something, outside of the parameters that you set for yourself, but it's going to be informative.
Some people don't want to do a no spend month because they don't think that they can do it. They don't think they can spend for no month. And
no
spoiler
kidding.
alert,
None of us can.
That's why you do it.
Yeah. So keep going. Don't let that be an opportunity for you to say, I didn't do it fully. I'm just going to quit altogether. Now I'm going to buy whatever I want and maybe I'll try again next month. No, just keep going and allow this, I wouldn't even call it a mess up, but allow this spending that you didn't intend to do to inform you about what was behind that spending and how could you make a different choice in the future and what led you to make this purchasing decision. Because again, when this challenge is over, you're going to go back to spending money. So allow this to be the opportunity to learn more about how you spend and the lessons that you then want to take with you into the rest of the year.
Yeah. And honestly, we need to learn how to make mistakes. We have been conditioned to believe that mistakes are failure. In reality, mistakes are life. And the only failure is not acknowledging them and learning from them. We need to learn how to make mistakes to be okay with it and the skill to observe the mistake and really non-judgmentally look at it and see, okay, what was the source of it? Where did it come from? And how can I make a different decision next time?
The nature of this challenge means that there's going to be a bit of slowing down. We're slowing down our thinking processes. We're creating more friction, which leads to some more slowness. We're asking ourselves questions. We're noticing things. And so because of that, it's also a really great time to kind of take inventory of all the things that we're spending money on. So this could be a great time to address some of your bills. While you're still paying your bills, it's an awesome time to renegotiate bills. Make sure that the subscriptions you're subscribed to are still working for you. They still make sense within your spending plan, that the big things that you're spending money on still fit in this season. And if they don't, then realigning. And that's where we can even experience even bigger savings beyond just not spending money. We can possibly identify ways to cut costs or identify the things that, you know what, I actually want to increase this in my spending plan when we go forward from here. So that's just not only a something to do to fill some of your time, but also an added benefit. And the one final thing we want to talk about too is the reflection afterwards. Being sure that when we are writing some of these things down, it makes it easier to be able to come back and reflect on, okay, now what have I learned about myself? We don't just want to have done this no spend challenge and then just move on. Be like, oh, great, I saved $50 and here we go. We're just plowing into the future. But giving ourselves that space to say, all right, what challenges and barriers did I run into? What does that inform me about what my future is going to look like? What sorts of friction do I want to maintain? What are the things I felt really good about doing when I wasn't spending money? Are there even habits now that I can incorporate that I'm realizing, I actually don't want to keep spending on that one thing. Here's what I want to do instead. So it doesn't have to be long, but sit down for an hour at the end of it and just review. What did I experience? What did I learn about myself? And what do I want to take with me?
And you know what I want to take with me into the no spend month and beyond. And I think it truly will help you every single challenge.
The bill of the week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the bill of the week.
Hi, this is Emily. I've been listening to you guys for almost 2 years now, and I just really enjoy all of the lovely tips. This is always my favorite segment because I get lots of great ideas. So today I called my internet company because we were thinking about switching to Starlink, and I talked to my husband and we decided that if our provider would get it down to the $120 for the Starlink price, that we would stay with our provider. And after some negotiation, we got it down to $120, saving us $40 a month. I let my husband know. He ended up going through our cell phone plan and lessened our cell phone plan because we weren't using it. We weren't using all the data and all the jazz that comes with it. So we ended up saving $40 on our cell phone bill now a month, for a total of $80. And the last thing was today, actually, as well. I called a company I had just ordered something through. I forgot to use a coupon, and they had shipped it, and asked if they could go back and give me that discount. And they said they'd give it to me on a store credit. So I got $40 back to use at a later date, which we already have planned. So it worked out perfect. Thanks. Bye.
Whoa. That is good. That is $80 a month, and then just like a 40, like that's a significant discount.
Mm-hmm. A $40 store credit now back in your hands.
So that is something that I wouldn't do. If I forgot to use a coupon, I would be too embarrassed to go to the company and say like, hey, can you give me the, can
you price match
this with the coupon? Because I wouldn't even think about asking for store credit.
Many places will. If you've made your purchase, I don't know exactly every store's policy, but many stores will be like within a week of the sale price, you can go back and ask them for that sale price. I have not bothered with it on smaller things, but on larger things that has happened. So that's a great tip. And this is significant amount of monthly savings. To get $80 a month back in your pocket is huge. And it's one of the things, like we were just talking about, negotiating some of these bills. If you could use some of your time during a no spend challenge to save yourself $80 because you just call your internet and your cell phone providers, that's huge. Imagine what you could do with an extra $80 a month. Oh, Jen's doing it. Jen's doing it in an investment calculator.
I want to do the math, like to see after, okay, if we're starting with $0 after 10 years with a 7% return rate, that's very conservative, and we're compounding, I'm going to say quarterly, then we're going to get up to an end balance of $13,800
over the course of 10 years.
Mm-hmm. And so you have made, you have made over $4,000 on that contribution.
If you were to just invest that extra $80 a month.
That's with nothing else.
Oh, that's
wild. You could make in 10 years over $4,000. If you handed me $4,000
in 10 years from now,
I would be like, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that. With hardly any work, like a day of making phone calls.
Right. And in 30, if we're thinking about like retirement here, that is an extra, over 30 years, that is an additional $100,000.
Yeah.
That's alone, wild. $80 a month over 30 years is an extra $100,000 in your retirement account. Think about that.
I am thinking about that.
When you're thinking, I don't have enough to invest. Oof. You have $80 a month?
Oof. Say it. Say it.
That's an extra $100,000 you have to spend in retirement.
Well, Emily, you are really bringing us the bill of the week that we're just getting on another high horse about. Something else I love is that it's evident to me that you were driving in your car while you called in the bill of the week. And I just find that incredibly adorable and endearing. Like, I love imagining our Frugal Friends listeners just in the car or putzing around doing chores, just like living daily life with us. And it just feels like such a unique friendship and community. We're just chatting in the car.
We're with you. We know we're with you in your car.
Yeah, we know it. We know that you're turning left right now. We know it.
It's the algorithm.
If you have a bill that you want to submit, if it is about money savings, negotiating bills and getting money back in your pocket, or getting that discount because you forgot your coupon, you're getting money back, store credit, or your name is Bill, frugalfriendspodcast.com/Bill. We can't wait to listen to it.
Bad credit can lead to a lot of no's. Buying a new house, car, applying for rewards cards. Kickoff can turn them into yeses. If your credit is under 600, you could jump like 28 points in your first month. Kickoff is the best way to build credit fast. No credit checks, no hidden fees, and no interest. It's simple. Kickoff optimizes key credit factors. Credit bureaus see good behavior, and your credit grows fast. Start building credit now for only $1 for your first month at getkickoff.com/iHeartPodcast. That's kickoff without the C. Get KIKOFF.com/iHeartPodcast. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/iHeartPodcast to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Point stat based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0. Changes for Kickoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside Kickoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary.
She's seen Encanto more times than she can count. And she can count to 10. She mentioned Mirabel in every conversation. But the moment she actually met Mirabel, she was speechless. That's pura magia. Find yours at Walt Disney World Resort.
5 years, 10 months, and 2 days. That's how long it took to grow the 38 inches to ride on Cali River Rapids. But the moment the wait finally ended, that was pura magia. Discover it at Walt Disney World Resort.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's her secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. It's formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all 5 of her best-selling products, including the amazing youth-activating Melon Serum. This next-generation serum has the power of melon leaf stem cell technology. It's melon leaf stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Amazon One Medical presents Painful Thoughts.
I could catch anything sitting in this doctor's waiting room. Ugh, a kid just wiped his runny nose on my jacket. And the guy next to me, sitting in a pool of perspiration, insists on sharing my armrest. Ugh.
Next time, make an appointment with an Amazon One Medical provider. There's no waiting and no sweaty guy. Amazon One Medical. Healthcare just got less painful.
And now it's time for
the lightning round. Okay, what are your usual exceptions during a no-spend month? So groceries is always my exception. I don't keep a lot of extra food on hand. So I don't need to, like a pantry challenge is a non-issue for me. I don't keep enough food on hand to have an issue. So I'm always, buying groceries.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah. Same. You know, my bills, groceries, I will try and pair it with a bit of a pantry challenge, but I never have enough food for that to be able to be the entire month. But I
that's
do try
what,
and
for a
work
week.
through, what I already have on hand. I will say that for me, I will spend on things that would come out of my sinking fund. So for instance, like in February, I will probably need to buy plane tickets for trips that are going to happen in April and May.
Mm-hmm.
And so I already have money set aside for that. So I will spend on that.
Yes. Anything that was already planned to come out of the sinking fund,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good use.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good exception.
Yeah. So that's how that goes.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. We really do hope that you are able to join us in this no spend challenge. Again, we're talking about it in the friend letter. So frugalfriendspodcast.com, if you don't receive that friend letter already, And we'll also be posting a bit on Instagram. I don't think we're going to go as crazy as Jen did last year, although
that was crazy.
She did post every day of January last year. So if you want to go all the way back in our Instagram account for some of that motivation, feel free. But still following us now will be helpful because we'll be posting little tidbits about it. So following us on Frugal Friends Podcast on Instagram. We love to connect with you all there outside of this show. And we're just so grateful for all of you that are here listening to this podcast. And we love reading your kind reviews. Is this one about
this
the
is
book?
So we are today making a change. Instead of reading podcast reviews, we are going to read your kind reviews from our book. And so there's over 120 of them on Amazon alone.
As of right now, but by the time this episode comes out, hopefully there's more.
So we will have no shortage, we hope. And we're going to just read those.
Yeah, so if you got the book and you haven't reviewed us yet, please do. But this one is an example. It comes from Amber C, 5 stars. I am a big consumer of financial podcasts, but have yet to read into the subject matter. This book, however, got my attention from the beginning. I've listened to lots of podcasts, and Frugal Friends is my favorite because of their simple and applicable advice. There's no fancy math equations involved or strict and soul-draining practices. It's very simple and rooted in values-based spending. I appreciate this book, especially as a newly single mom. The fact that everything revolves around values-based spending is a simple and powerful tool for me to spend my money in a meaningful way. I love this book and plan on reading it over and over again. Thanks, Jen and Jill. Amber C,
Yay,
how beautiful.
Thank you, Amber.
You know, that's something that I've been hearing from people recently who now do have their hands on the book is they're saying, this is something where I'm going to come back to specific chapters. Like I'm earmarking this because I know I'm going to revisit this when I get to this season of life. And I didn't totally think that through when writing it. I did kind of think you can read it from front to back in a week, in a month, and kind of capture some of the big concepts and begin applying them. But I think through the lens of other people, it's been interesting to have that kind of reflected back that they're identifying there are aspects here that are kind of like standalone pieces and advice that I'm going to want to revisit this and come back to it. And that's really cool. I've had a handful of books like that throughout my life where I'm like, this is a guide that it's not just like I appreciated the concepts and now I'm moving on, but that there are pieces here that it's going to be good to revisit. And that's so fun.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much for listening and for reading the book. If you want to check out the book, head to buywhatyoulovebook.com and you can get it from your favorite retailer. We obviously prefer Bookshop. And then leave a review on Amazon or Goodreads and you could hear it on the show.
Thanks so much, everyone. See you next time.
Bye. Frugal Friends is produced by Eric Sirianni.
So, this upcoming weekend is our party.
Yes. I'm so excited. I did my nails for it.
Yeah. So we record a month in advance. So the party is happening mid-January at my house. I'm hosting.
We're 2 weeks in advance for this one. We're a little late.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's okay.
All right. That's fine. But the party isn't happening during the No Spend Challenge, just in case you were wondering. But yeah,
they were
so
worried.
what are we gonna do? We're gonna go to Costco to get some snacks.
We're gonna get snacks at Costco.
You're gonna make from Publix.
You're gonna make a balloon
arch
garland arch.
Yeah, maybe not a full arch, but I did get some balloons that are the color of the book.
Yay!
And I'm gonna blow them up with whatever pump we hopefully have in the garage.
How exciting.
Yeah. So we're going to have like a photo wall. Eric had a good idea to have everybody like not just take pictures, but also be able to have people record themselves. We did do this at one of our parties years ago. Actually, we never watched them. That would be really fun to look back on.
Yeah.
We had people talk about like their frugal wins and frugal fails. I think for this party, we should have people say what they love to buy, things that they love to spend money on.
Oh, and
then we can have like
that they won't spend money
a compilation that we can post to Instagram.
That would be fun. Yeah. We have to pick out our cake flavor. Because now we're just going to go to...
Yeah, and in bigger news, we got to figure out what kind of cake we want.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. But the cake.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take the book to Publix and say, like, this is the inspiration.
Okay, yeah.
What can you do?
We talked about getting a printed picture of the book on the top of the cake, but we realized that not many bakeries do that in-house. You have to order that online, and we're too late.
We were
had
too
the
late when we
idea
thought about
too
it.
late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's okay, though.
It'll save us money. It's almost better to have that parameter.
Yeah, I guess.
And not spend $30 on that.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad, but it's fine. Maybe we'll figure out another reason to do it one day.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Nobody's upset. Nobody's as sad.
It'll be fun. Gonna take pictures. Gonna eat good food. So, okay. And then we're gonna post about it on Instagram.
Yay! Bye.
Thanks everyone for celebrating with us. If you haven't gotten the book yet, wherever you get books, buy what you love without going broke. Bye.
Did you know that there's a victim of identity theft every 3 seconds? It's Identity Theft Awareness Week, which means it's the perfect time to protect your identity with LifeLock. Lots of places like doctors' offices and retailers can accidentally expose your personal info, leaving you open to identity threats. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second and alerts you to more uses of your personal information. And if you do become a victim of identity theft, LifeLock has professional restoration specialists with the experience and know-how to fix identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Plus, plans include the $1 Million Protection Package with up to $3 million in coverage for the most comprehensive plan. Protect yourself this Identity Theft Awareness Week and every week of the year with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com/iHeart. That's LifeLock.com/iHeart to save up to 40%. Terms apply. LifeLock, for the threats you can't control.
Sail to breathtaking destinations in Alaska or Europe with the Disney Cruise Line. Discover where onboard magic meets onshore adventures, where beloved characters
Hiya, pal!
meet alluring landscapes, where Broadway quality shows meet historic cities, where imaginative dining meets amazing wildlife, and where exciting experiences await the whole family. Book an adventure-filled summer Disney cruise to Alaska or Europe.
Do you want to see into the future? Do you want to understand an invisible force that's shaping your life? Do you want to experience the frontiers of what makes us human? On Tech Stuff, we travel from the mines of Congo to the surface of Mars, from conversations with Nobel Prize winners to the depths of TikTok, to ask burning questions about technology, from high-tech to low culture and everywhere in between. Join us. Listen to Tech Stuff on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm so sick of hearing men talk about women's basketball.
This is Lexi Brown.
And Mariah Rose.
And we've got a new podcast, Full Circle.
Every Wednesday, we're catching you up on what's going on in women's basketball.
We've got you with analysis, inside stories, and a little bit of tea.
Full Circle is an iHeart Women's Sports production in partnership with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment. Listen to Full Circle on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Presented by Elf Beauty, founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports.